Good morning. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I too am having a wonderful day. Okay, so today we are focusing more on question two, paper two, question two rather. So you already know that you have four questions there. You have two narrative questions and two descriptive questions, from which you will have to choose one. So you may make a choice. You may make a choice of choosing one narrative essay or one descriptive essay. It's all up to you. Alright? It's all up to you. So if you're choosing a narrative essay, you're narrating, you're writing a story. Yeah. In simple terms, you're writing a story. But if you're choosing a descriptive essay, of course, you are describing something. Alright? You are describing something in a way that your words are replacing a certain picture. The reader should imagine how something looked like. Alright? You have to, so when you're writing here, you are trying to paint a picture with the words. Alright? So that the reader can substitute a certain picture in their mind with the words that you are describing the thing with, the subject rather. Alright? So here we do have about 4 success criteria. We have 4 success criteria. So the first criteria says there, articulate experience and what is thought, felt, and imagined. Alright? So what does it mean? Alright? So you are describing or expressing something here the way you want to convey it. You're describing or expressing something the way you want to convey it. So most of the time, like we have this picture in our mind, right? But how can we convey this picture? How can you bring it alive to the reader? This is what you are trying to describe here. So here, you are what? You're describing, you're expressing yourself to the reader exactly the way you want to convey it. Alright? So you have this picture, and then you're trying to describe something. Sometimes it may come up wrong, isn't it? It may come out wrong. This is not how I'm trying to express it. But if you have this image and you're expressing it and it comes out the way you are envisioning it, then of course this is very successful. And then 2, we have organize and structure ideas and opinions for deliberate effect. Organize and structure ideas and opinions for deliberate effect. Alright? So here, the effect has to be intended. Okay, you have trying to make a choice. You're trying to have an effect. You're trying to bring out an effect. You're trying to conceptualize this effect. And then you choose words, you choose sentence structures, you choose imageries and those devices. When you do so, the end result has to be deliberate. Alright? It has to be intended. Okay? So you've made a choice, and this choice is on purpose. And what's coming out is a result that you are trying to, that is in your mind and is coming up on the paper. Okay? So the way you organize your ideas, what paragraphs, the length of the paragraphs, yeah? That you're using. Okay, so you're alternating the length of the paragraph. So this paragraph is longer, this paragraph is shorter. For a certain effect, isn't it? And the way you move from one idea to the other, right? And your decision on the order of the ideas. So this is all deliberate. It's not a random choice. Okay, it's not a random choice. It's all deliberate. And 3 here we have use a range of vocabulary and sentence structures appropriate to context. Use a range of vocabulary and sentence structures appropriate to context. So here, of course, you need to have a certain type of registry. What does it mean? For example, if you're describing a port, a certain words you can use to describe the port. Yeah. So it is up to you to know, to choose a topic and be able to describe it using the relevant words and terminologies that can that can come across to the reader and say, oh yeah, this person is just trying to describe the harbor. And for example, if you're describing a school, you may have to use certain words to describe a school. For example, desks, teachers, so on and so forth. Yeah. So the vocabulary has to be precise, and it needs to be relevant to whatever you're describing. It's very, very important. And then number 4, of course, we have use register appropriate context. Use register appropriate to context. Well, what does it mean? Of course, it's not very different from vocabulary. Okay. Okay, so you have the question here, which is describe say port. Of course, your answer needs to be appropriate to the what? To the question. It needs to be appropriate to the it needs to be appropriate to the question. That's what it means. Use register appropriate context. So the context, what are you writing about? How does it fit into this one? And for 5, you have make accurate use of spelling, punctuation, and grammar. Of course, it's very, very important. I would ask you to let about 5 minutes after you've written the passage. I would ask you to let about 5 minutes, only 5 minutes, to go back to whatever you've written and to make sure to check on the grammar, 1, to check on the sentence structures, 2, and also to check on your spellings. 5 minutes, okay? I cannot stress enough how important it is for you to cross-check and edit the mistakes that you've made. So just let about 5 minutes after you've written everything, go back to your passage and edit it. Make sure everything is coming out right. Okay, so there we have the 4 criteria. So you have to focus on them. Please memorize them. Please memorize them. It will be easy for you to get all those good marks if you follow the 4 criteria, so you know what they are. So here we have a question example. Describe a busy port or harbor. Describe a garden or park which has become overgrown and neglected since you left. So yeah, today we are simply going to do the first one, yeah? And for the second one, I will need you to pause this video and copy it. This will be your work, alright? Please do it on your own. It will be good for practice, so I would really like you to practice, and this will be a very good start. So for the first one, we're going to do it together. For the second one, I will need you to do it on your own. Remember, practice makes perfect, and if you don't practice, then you are practicing to fail. So, steps to follow. What are the steps you need to follow? Okay, so I'd like you to imagine going up steps, yeah? Okay, so you have a first step, second step, third step. So you're going upstairs, the steps. So these are the steps you need to follow when you're writing it. So you have number 1, choose a question. So yeah, this is very important because you need to know, can I tackle this question? If you cannot, then you do not need to force yourself, alright? And then 2 means to brainstorm ideas. So you brainstorm ideas to create this mental image here, okay? When you start organizing things in their order. I'm going to show you how you organize this particular task, but of course you need to brainstorm. Okay, is it the sun I'm describing? Okay, can I use a metaphor here if I'm describing the sun? Can I use a personification? Okay, what connotations am I trying to bring here? Am I trying to bring in a certain nuances, more details about the sun? So you need to brainstorm here. But of course, planning is very, very important. It's really, really important. You need to plan all the time. If you don't plan out, it comes at random. Your ideas do not really connect. And of course, if you don't do that, it will be very, very hard for you to get that full mark or something that is close to the full mark. It will be very, very hard for you. So plan, just plan. And 3, organize ideas into clear plan. Think about chronology. Add techniques to your plan. So you have to think about chronology here. What is the order of things I'm writing? Okay? What is the order? Where is it starting from? Okay? Where is it starting from? Where is it going? This paragraph, where is it connecting? Is it connecting to the next paragraph or not? So it's very, very important for you to have a chronology. Write up your answer, stop and check each paragraph. Check if you are meeting the success criteria. So I've given you the success criteria. If I were you, I would memorize it. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. You can just scribble it down wherever you're planning on your paper. You scribble it down there. So when you are writing your answer here, you can be ticking little by little. So here, for example, you can do this one here. Have I articulated my experience, and the experiences what is thought, felt, and imagined? You take it there, and then you can go to the second one, you can go on the third one, and then the fourth one. It will be easy for you to fill up the boxes. And of course, the examiner will be delighted if you do so. So just go back to the success criteria. Just mark. Have I done this? Have I filled this? Have I done this? So if there, it will be like your guide, your map. In this case, it will be your map to success. Of course, let's go on. Say we have here, check if you are meeting the success criteria. So you need to do that. So here, steps 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. These steps. Let me do this one. So 1, 2, 3 here, and I will need you about 15 minutes here. To spend about 15 minutes, because planning is very important. And again, I cannot stress how important it is for you to plan. So just try to plan as much as you can. 15 minutes, just give yourself 15 minutes. And the writing part itself is also 15 minutes. You see here, planning is half the work you need to put into it. The writing itself is very, very important because obviously you need to produce something, but if you don't plan it, then of course the work will not come out pretty good. So plan. Again, so I've written here, it is very important to plan. The writing is 15 minutes as well. We will focus on questions describe a busy port or harbor. So yeah, that was the first thing I said to you. So we have 2 questions. We just focus on the first one. The second one, please do it yourself. But a quick recap of a few things that you need to do in order to spice up your writing. So remember guys, your sentence varieties also matter. The sentence lengths. Is it a short sentence or a long sentence? So on and so forth. So you need to be able to cleverly choose your sentence structure for certain effect. Yeah, all right. So we have these ones. Obviously, we've done it before, but of course, going back is very important. We need to go back and see what we can do. We have the ing clause. Of course, you know what an ing clause is. So you have a clause that starts with a verb that ends with ing. Okay. So having found a hotel, we looked somewhere to have dinner. Having found a hotel, so this is an ing clause here. Similarly, like a surgeon before operation, we already know that. It's very easy. Prepositional phrase, yeah. We already know that. Adverb, yeah. Ends with ly, so we already know that. And then we have a connective here, since it is raining outside, yeah, a connective. And then we have ed clause painted in pink, as you can see here, ed, isn't it? A clause starting with a verb that ends with ed. So you just sentence variety, you should know, it's like jelly beans, yeah. You want to have different colors of jelly beans. So purple, blue, white makes it more interesting, makes it more fun. Just the same, you also need to have different ways of opening sentences, yeah? Because the sentences cannot be all the same, they cannot be monotonous. That would be boring to the reader. You should not do that. So we also have the appositive. So this is the appositive here. We already know what it is. The face covered in chocolate. Okay. The child face covered in chocolate is describing what? The child is a face covered in chocolate is describing the child. So this is a positive, the interrupters that give more information, isn't it? So you need to know those ones. Please go back to your notes. Add variety to your sentences. Have control on your writing. Yeah, very very important. Go back to your notes. Practice these things. Go back to them. All right. You know what to get caught off guard. Yeah. So we have brainstorm.